Project Management Professional Training Session 1. PMP In-Depth. Project Management Professional Certification Study Guide for the PMP Exam. Contents. Introduction. Part 1, Initiating the Project. Chapter 1, Project Management Framework. Chapter 2, Project Environment. Chapter 3, Initiating the Project. Part 2, Planning the Project. Chapter 4, Planning Project and Scope. Chapter 5, Planning for Project Schedule Management. Chapter 6, Planning for Project Resources, Cost, and Procurement. Chapter 7, Planning Quality and Risk Management. Chapter 8, Planning for Communication and Stakeholder Management. Part 3, Executing the Project. Chapter 9, Managing Execution of Project Work. Chapter 10, Managing Project Resources. Chapter 11, Managing Communication and Stakeholder Engagement. Part 4, Monitoring and Controlling the Project. Chapter 12, Monitoring and Controlling the Project Work. Chapter 13, Monitoring and Controlling the Scope, Schedule, and Resources. Chapter 14, Monitoring Stakeholder Engagement and Communication. Part 5, Closing. Chapter 15, Closing the Project. Appendix A, Answers to Study Checkpoint Exercises. Appendix B, Answers and Explanations for Chapter Review. Questions. Glossary. Index. Introduction. Begin at the beginning, and go on till you come to the end, then stop. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. The primary purpose of this book is to help you pass the Project Management Professional, PMP, exam administered by the Project Management Institute, PMI. Because the book has a laser-sharp focus on the exam objectives, expert project managers and project team members who want to pass the PMP exam can use this book to ensure that they do not miss any objectives. Yet this is not an exam cram book. The chapters and the sections within each chapter are presented in a logical learning sequence. A topic in a chapter and the chapter only depend upon the previously covered topics in chapters, and there is no hopping from topic to topic. The concepts and topics, both simple and complex, are clearly explained when they appear for the first time. No prior knowledge of project management is assumed. This facilitates stepwise learning, prevents confusion, and makes this book useful also for beginners who want to get up to speed quickly to pass the PMP exam, even if they are new to the discipline of project management. The presentation of material in such a fashion enables the book to help a wider audience, as noted next. Who this book is for. With its focus on the PMP exam topics, this book is designed to serve the following audiences. Project management practitioners who want to prepare for the PMP exam. Entry-level project managers and project team members who want to prepare for the PMP exam. Beginners who want to join the field of project management, take the PMP exam, or both X introduction. Project managers who want a book to use as a quick and easy reference to the discipline of project management. Instructors and trainers who want a textbook for a course on introductory project management for both exam and non-exam classes. How this book is organized. This book tells the story of project management in a cohesive and concise yet comprehensive fashion. The book is written to the most current version of the PMP exam based on the 6th edition of a Guide to the Project Management Body of Knowledge, PMBOK Guide, by PMI. The discipline of project management, according to the PMBOK Guide, contains 10 knowledge areas, such as cost management and quality management, and 5 process groups: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. There are 2 obvious approaches to presenting this project management content. 1, in order of knowledge areas, a rather theoretical approach, or 2, in order of process groups, from initiating to closing the project, a practical approach that is closer to the life cycle of a project in the real world. The PMBOK Guide and almost all project management exam books are organized along the knowledge areas. However, the exam objectives published by PMI, referred to as tasks in the exam specifications, are organized in order of the process groups. This poses a problem for the reader preparing for the exam based on exam objectives. For example, one exam book referred to 11 chapters for one exam objective in its exam readiness checklist. This book solves that problem by presenting the material in order of process groups: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. This order of presentation is also consistent with the life cycle of a project, and therefore facilitates natural learning by connecting the material to real-world experience. We have been taking this approach since the publication of the first edition of PMP in depth in 2006. We should mention that although the main guide in the PMBOK guide, 6th edition is still organized along the knowledge areas, the standard is to present in order of the process groups. How each chapter is organized. With the exception of Chapter 1, which is on the project management framework, each chapter begins with a list of the exam objectives on which the chapter is focused. These objectives are officially called tasks by PMI, and these tasks are organized into domains, which are essentially the process groups. I have followed exactly the order of the domains published by PMI, but I have shuffled around a few objectives to keep the topics and subject matter in line with sequential learning and to avoid hopping from topic to topic. Introduction. The first section in each chapter is an introduction in which I establish 3 underlying concepts or topics that will be explored in the chapter. Each chapter has the following features. Exam objectives. All exam objectives covered in the chapter are fully explained at the beginning of the chapter. Big picture. Each chapter begins by introducing the big picture of the topics covered in the chapter. This prepares the reader for a smooth dive into the details which follow. Study checkpoints. Each chapter in its body presents study checkpoints, which are exercises to ensure that you get the crucial points in the covered material. The solutions to study checkpoints are presented in Appendix A. Notes, tips, and cautions. As you read through a chapter, you will find notes that present additional helpful material related to the topic being described, tips that provide additional real-world insight into the topic being discussed, and cautions on the points that would be easy to trip on for some. Summary. The summary section of each chapter provides the big, unified picture while reviewing the important concepts in the chapter in a very concise way. Exams I view. The Exams I view section highlights the important points in the chapter from the perspective of the exam, the things that you must comprehend, the things that you should watch out for because they might not seem to fit in with the ordinary order of things, and the facts that you should memorize for the exam. Review questions. Each chapter ends with a review questions section that has a two-pronged purpose, to help you test your knowledge of the material presented in the chapter and to help you evaluate your ability to answer the exam questions based on the exam objectives covered in the chapter. The answers to the review questions are presented in Appendix B.